Okay, guys. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. You can see my hand. You can see my really gnarly hand here. You're probably wondering, what is this? No, it's not what you think. This is called sweet fern. Okay. It's one of the leaves. And it is, back in the colonial period, people actually used it as a tea substitute rather than buy British tea. So you could actually make a tea out of it and drink it. Now, the other thing about that plant is that you make a really strong, dark black tea out of it. You can put a rag in it, I should say a face cloth, a clean rag. And you can put it on poison ivy, poison sumac, or poison oak. And it will help resolve the itching. It'll kind of like wash away the urushiol oils, which are causing the problem. So, and usually it's like mid to late summer when it's fully bloomed and woody. And right now it has probably the strongest amount of its, medicinal properties, as we'll call it, inside the plant. Early spring when it first starts, when the leaves start to unfurl, the nutrients in the plant aren't as strong as, say, like mid to late summer. So this is a good time to start gathering this, drying it, powdering it, and putting it in a container for future use. Now, I'm sure that some of you guys aren't going to do that, but that's something I would do, okay? So it's just a little friendly bit of information. Okay, guys, I'm going down this particular trail. This here is actually, I believe it's called the Mid-State Trail. This goes all the way from New Hampshire to Rhode Island. It cuts the state of Massachusetts in half, hence the term Mid-State. Now, look at all these trees. These are young oaks. Relatively young. In other words, these oaks are all like under the age of 40. That's young for a tree. Okay. What's wrong with them? Yeah, you tell me, what's wrong with them? Look at them all. They're dead. Why are they dead? Well, for 2 years in a row, we had an invasive species bloom outward, so to speak. And what do I mean by that? Okay. In my class, I'm sure some of you guys have actually done the assignment. I had an article on the gypsy moth. The gypsy moth is actually native to Europe. And, I just heard a gigantic horsefly come by. Good thing I got my schmog. Hopefully whip them out of the air. They bite like a bee. Okay? Last thing I need is get stung by that thing. I'm not stung. She is actually gonna sit there and drink my blood. Anyways, all these trees died because for 2 years in a row, their leaves were stripped off by gypsy moth caterpillars, and the trees just couldn't recover. One bad year they can recover, but kind of like 2 in a row, not so much. And it was bad. This year, knock on wood, I'm not seeing the gypsy moths like I did last year or the year before. But sadly, these trees are all dead. And this also sets up another thing here. And you can see this tree over here, how it's leaning up against those other 2 trees that are dead. So we got one dead fallen tree up against two or three others. It's a cluster of trees. Okay. Now, tomorrow into Wednesday, we're supposed to get a tropical storm. Tropical storm Isai. Or is it Isaias. I forgot what it was. Forgive me for butchering the name. I don't want to butcher it. Well, anyways, tropical storm is coming up, and all models point it's going to go towards western Massachusetts. So that's meaning eastern Massachusetts, we're not going to get that much rain, but we're going to get a lot of wind. Now, if I was going to camp anywhere, this is where I would not camp. Why? Right there. If we get winds of up to 60 miles an hour, which they're predicting, okay, and if you make camp somewhere on the top of this hill, because you can find a nice little clearing, okay, well, so to speak, these are thick woods. You're going to have to kind of chop your way around. Something like that dead tree could fall in your camp and fall on you. In fact, look right there. That would not be a good day. There's a nickname for these trees. They're called widow makers, and they're called that for a particular reason. It's because if you're not aware of them and you're in an area where there's high wind, they could fall down on you. So when you're out in the woods, one of the things you want to you have to use all of your senses. Yeah, I know we live in a generation where everybody's got, earbuds and whatnot. It's a bad idea. You want to be kind of like aware of your surroundings, okay? Like over here, we have a funky looking spider. Okay. I'm not going to mess with him. He's probably harmless. Or she. Probably she. And I'll just leave it alone. But again, one of the things, like I said, if you're going to go out camping or anything like that, or walking in the woods, again, you need to be kind of aware of your surroundings, always looking around. Okay? Oh. Look what's on the ground right there. Oh, another widowmaker. And I see another one, a really big one way in there. It's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of like right where my fingertip is. Again, if you were to set up shelter on this little hilltop, it might be a bad day, especially tomorrow, kind of like tomorrow night and into the next day. Oh, what do we got here? Oh. Looks like we got some beech nuts. Yeah, you can see them growing here. I'm not going to bother with them. They're going to be, that's for the deer. Also, I noticed something else as I'm walking through this area. It's also more humid. When I left, it wasn't too bad. But now, it's much more humid. I see more clouds coming in. It's much more cloudier. Okay, if that makes any sense. So there is a weather change. I don't need to watch the Weather Channel, so to speak, to know tonight and, like probably tomorrow and the next day, we're going to have some bad weather. So, yeah. Oh, we're in a little bit of a low spot here. But again, like I said, this is an area that you need to be aware of, because here's the remains of a tree that fell down in the wind. Again, these trees were killed by gypsy moths in the last 2 years. And if you're, like I said, heavy wind, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Okay. What do we got here? Okay, well, this tree here died of basically rot. Actually, carpenter ants. So, anyways, on that note, I'm gonna shut her down, and I'll post this as soon as I'm able to, okay? So you guys have a really wonderful day.